favorite and least favorite Harry Potter characters here. Check out my other, I did the movies as well for the tier list, and a bunch of other TV shows, movies, and obviously video games. So don't forget, like, subscribe, and let us get started. Obviously, we have to put old boy Harry up in S tier. Entire storyline was fantastic. Definitely came full circle. Definitely, though, had to be carried over here by Miss Hermione Granger. Definitely deserves an S tier as well. Her storyline was fantastic as well, and definitely would not have been able to have Harry alive as long as we did without her. So we know who really ran the show there. Voldemort, we have to put an S as well. It's hard not to, just because he came in so heavy, and honestly the story behind him as far as why he became what he is and the Horcruxes and all of that, definitely huge. Definitely deserves an S tier for me, one of the best characters in the entire series. Obviously we gotta put this awful family down here in D, Harry's aunt and uncle, and I believe it would be cousin. Just awful people, obviously. Not really much to say about them, but they got what was coming to them, so that's what matters, right? Dumbledore, we got to put an S as well. I think that man had an insanely great brain, in everything that happened and how it happened, and definitely open-minded to a lot of crazy stuff, and definitely took Harry and his friends under his wing very much, as well as sacrificed himself for the greater good. So Dumbledore definitely deserves an S tier as well. Neville, we got to put an A. Honestly, I think he is a super underrated character. Definitely came into the last few movies and books. Just super strong. I mean, killing the snake, blowing up the bridge, definitely being part of the Order of the Phoenix, really heavy. Definitely a very strong, built up character. The character arc there for him was, I think, one of the biggest in the entire series for sure. Peter Pettigrew, I'll give to. Honestly, I'm gonna give to C. I never really understood the great storyline with him or why he was there. I honestly don't even remember him dying either. I'm not sure that he does. But either way, I was never really a fan of him and the storyline or anything to do with him, really. Mr. Ron Weasley, I'll give the S as well. I think at the end of the day, if he wasn't so essentially Harry's brother, then a lot of it would have been different. I think him having the large family that he did as well was super helpful to the story, and meaningful in a lot of situations, having that much help, as well as, again, being Harry's brother. But as, a wizard, so much, not so much there, but at the end of the day, he comes through, and he knows where his loyalty is. Honestly, Harry's dad turned out to be a dick, apparently, so not huge fan of his, but still, I know he's very important to the story, was still part of, essentially, the Order of the Phoenix, but, yeah, I think figuring out he was a dick to Snape really just put him down for sure. Sirius, I'll put into A. I think he could be into S, unfortunately, because he was killed. We kind of never really got, I think that really shows more Harry's side to the story than anything, but you know, him essentially being Harry's family and how that arc happened compared to the Prisoner of Azkaban. Um, I think it was very strong, and then obviously he was taken away, so it's hard to put him higher. But when he was there, he's definitely a fantastic character. I liked him. I liked how that story and the arc of that was turning out. But, you know, I definitely think that that's why when he did die, that made you really feel it. So, it is what it is. Snape I'm going to give to A. I think he could be an S, but I think overall, especially the early books and movies, he just, you know, he's a dick. So, we obviously figure out kind of why and everything, but still overall, very strong and solid character. He did the right thing in the end, and overall, that's what matters. Malfoy, Draco specifically, I'll give to B. I think he plays a larger part in the last few movies, but still just, you know, overall just bad person. But the overall character arc there and the story behind him and his family, definitely solid. I'll give his dad a B2. I think he was honestly pretty consistent in a lot of the movies and books. There a lot and definitely played a overall big part in a lot of things that happened and a lot of the meaningful stories, side stories, and scenes for sure. Hagrid, I'll give him to A. Can't put him in S, but I can't put him in B. I think because he's so meaningful to all of the kids and definitely his creatures, and just all of the storylines that he had as far as going to get Harry originally. You know, Buckbeak, I think, is the name here. And you know the giant that he brings and everything. I think you can't not like Hagrid. But I also don't think he's really S-worthy. But that's just what it is. Buckbeak will go down here to C. Sorry, not S. I think the storyline behind saving it was great, but I just don't think it was really meaningful to the whole storyline. And I definitely, honestly, I know a lot of people are, but I wasn't a fan of Prisoner of Azkaban, mostly because of the time looping and back and forth and time warp. I'm not a fan of that pretty much overall in any show or movie. Miss Lestrange here. Hard to figure out. Honestly, I have to put her in S. I think she played her role fantastic. I think she was honestly more devastating than just about any other villain in the entire show or book, whatever. Yeah, she played her part perfectly. I think she was definitely just fantastic in everything that she did as far as being a villain, killing Sirius. Obviously, she died to the Weasley mom, which I'll give the Weasley mom an A. But she was a strong character pretty much as soon as she came into it. She honestly was about just as scary as Voldemort, in my opinion. Weasley mom at the end kills Lestrange, but I think she was good. I think at the end of the day she stood her ground, went in where she needed to, and was definitely there for Harry and his friends, and a very good character throughout the entire series for sure. The Weasley brothers, I'll give to B. I don't really, you know, they were cool and nice and funny and everything, but I don't really think they played too much of a huge part in the overall story. I know they were there a lot more later in the series, but you know, I was never their biggest fan, mostly just because, I don't know, didn't really need to be. Creature, I'll give to B. I think he kind of clutched up a little bit, if you will, later on, but I guess that's really all you can really say. I think he was always pretty interesting for sure, and clutched up in the end. Dobby, honestly, I have to give Dobby S. I think Dobby is one of my most underrated favorite characters. Minimum, he's an A for sure, but I think him saving all of them in the end and then unfortunately dying a free elf, god damn it, was pretty big. I also think, him early on essentially saving, not really, Harry from Malfoy, and I think I really enjoyed his storyline and what you could do. Yo, what's up, Quest? Mad Eye, honestly, to me, was overall just kind of annoying. Nothing to really say about him. I was never really sad that he died either. Ginny, I'm gonna give to A. I feel like she turned out to be way more powerful than people were gonna give her credit for, but she definitely stepped up and was not afraid to throw down for sure and fuck up anybody that came close to Harry for sure. Weasley dad. Honestly, I have to give to C. I don't think he played a big enough part in the entire series, really. Um, I don't think anything he did was super meaningful. And even in the, big fight in the end, he wasn't really there. Not really. Remus. Remus, I'll give to A. I think, again, he's one of the only people that was much more family to Harry than everybody else. I didn't really like the whole wolf storyline again in the third movie with him, but I'm glad that they essentially just took it out, and we didn't have to deal with that later. But I think he was a solid character. Unfortunately, him dying was not great with his wife here. I don't remember her name, unfortunately, so that is my bad. But she was always coming in clutch too, for sure. She was always definitely down to throw down for the good side, if you will. Oh my god, this inspector dude was honestly just an asshole. So stupid. Did not want to believe that what's his face was alive at all. That's for sure. We'll give the wand guy a C. Never really saw much of him, but what we did see, I guess he was helpful for sure. Professor McGonagall. We'll give to A. We'll give her to A. Honestly, as far as what she is dealing with in real life, during the movie series of her having cancer, she deserves an S. But as a character in the show movie, we're gonna give her to A. I think she deserves it as far as her stepping up against Snape, and then her definitely always kind of watching over Harry and his friends as well. Very much open-minded, which was nice. And I wish we saw her fight a lot more, because she seemed very powerful, but we never really got to experience too much of it. We don't really need the announcer anywhere. I don't really remember him very much, honestly. Who do we want to do next? Yeah, she is just crazy. I don't remember her name either, but honestly, she was just really annoying. Harry's mom, we'll give to B. I think a lot of the story kind of goes around her without us knowing, just as far as why, Harry wasn't essentially a Horcrux, not fully. I mean, he was, but, her being able to protect him, and all the stories that everybody told about him, about her being an amazing person, which is honestly all we really have to go on, are those two things. But I think she deserves a B just from based off those things. The reporter, I'll give to C. I think she was funny when she was there, but again, nothing really to the story. This dude was honestly super annoying, and again, not much to any part of the story either. Draco's mom, same thing. Not really much to say about her, but she kept it together. Why? Luna. Thank you, self. Luna, I'll give to A. I think she was definitely out there, but I think that's why she was so fun and funny, because she was. It was definitely cool to see her and Neville. I think that was a good couple, and I think a lot of her scenes were very important later on, and everything that surrounded her. So definitely deserves to be up there. Oh, I don't even remember his name, but I don't remember him being very important in much of anything, to be honest. This dude, we'll give to B. I think he was important to the story later on, as well as I think a lot of insight, but other than that, not really the greatest character, if you will. Oh, and then the lady that I liked it. I liked the kind of side interest between her and Harry. Obviously, we know that she gave up the Order of the Phoenix, but then we figure out why. But still, then we never really see her again, honestly. So I don't know. This Weasley brother, which I'm pretty sure is a Weasley brother, I might be wrong, turned out to just be a freaking dick later on and everything, being much more on the inspector's side and all of that. And I don't remember him even like fighting with the family or anything. So maybe he's not even a Weasley brother, but I thought in the earlier movies that he was. I might just be wrong about that. Why can I not remember her name? But honestly, she was pretty important to all of it as well. I think her coming in and taking over the school was an important turning point in the entire series and everything that had to happen after. We all know old boy was funny. He was alright, nothing crazy. I actually didn't know for the longest time that that was his mom. I think McGonagall is his mom, actually. What's his face from Hermione's little side boyfriend there for a minute in the Goblet of Fire? I'll give him to C. Kronk. But again, we see him for half of a movie and then that was it, so I can't really put him much higher. We'll give what's his face to B. I think he was super important in the finding of Voldemort, if you will, being able to really try to get it through people's heads and tell people, and definitely was though he wasn't really Harry's friend, it was definitely a hard hit for Harry knowing that, he died. And everybody else, honestly, I'll give her to C since that's where Kronk is, because that's really the only time we see her. I think she does, either her or one of her friends or something gets married to the one guy with the wolf scar, I forget. But everybody else, honestly, was pretty useless. This guy got taken over from Voldemort, I remember. And then, oh boy, we'll give it a C because he helped blow up the bridge and he was funny throughout the series, I guess. But let me know down in the comments where you guys would place all of your